Another patient testimonial, which is wonderful. I'm here with not just a patient, but someone who's been kind of a friend and amazing inspiration. This is Margaret, and her and her son and husband have been coming here for quite some time, and I'll kind of let her tell. When did you start coming here?
Just over 10 years ago.
Yeah, 2015, and she's been an amazing patient. What patient number are you?
3474.
3474, and we started with patient 0, so that'll kind of give you guys an idea of where she's been at. So let me start with this. When did you start care? We've kind of answered that. How bad was it, and how was it affecting your life and well-being at the time?
Well, I was a soccer coach at the time, so I had sore back, sore shoulders, knee injuries. So I came in, I couldn't even lift my arm like to the side. And so you started treating me with just that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and as I've aged, you've gotten like other things. So
yeah, that's what you were a soccer coach for middle school kids, or was it Bailey was?
I coached U6, U8, U10, and assisted for U14. So.
And Margaret likes to stay active with the kids. She's not someone just a coach.
I play with the kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So it means a lot to you. And oh yeah, I get to do this. So didn't you meet your husband wrestling?
I did. Yeah.
So
yeah.
She is. So it's nice to be active. Okay. So after you started care, how much did you really start to notice a difference and pain started to go away?
I noticed right away. It took a couple weeks for me to like have the pain, because like every time I'd get adjusted, I could feel like in the middle of the night where it would pop out, and that's normal because it was out of place for so long. But I would say a good month in, I was like, all right. Yeah. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, I'll get adjusted. And I'm like, oh, you missed something. And you guys are like, oh, let me recheck that. And I'm right on most of the time. So
I'm glad you brought that up. You guys, another thing, since these are students, a lot of times, patients, when they've been adjusted for a while, they can really help you out in their care. You guys, don't you feel like, that's a good point. Don't you feel like that the more you kind of felt like what it was feel good, that when as soon as you didn't, you kind of could notice that too?
Oh yeah. And I notice a difference, like if I go on vacation for a week and I don't come in and get adjusted, because I'm used to getting adjusted weekly. Some people don't. Some do every other week. Some are once a month, but I like once a week. That's just me. And I notice a difference. Like I come back from vacation and I'm like, I need an adjustment and another vacation. So
physical, chemical, and emotional stresses are out there every time you leave the office. So it's important to get adjusted. Yeah. Did you notice any other unexpected improvements with your health while undergoing chiropractic treatments?
I noticed I struggled with infertility, and after getting adjusted here for a year, I wound up pregnant. Not that it was your fault. I'm just saying, like it helped improve my body so that my body could heal itself. And we were on fertility meds for, it seemed like a year and a half. Nothing was working. And then all of a sudden I went to the doctors and they're like, you're pregnant. And I'm like, what? I was like, I just gave away all my baby stuff. And I remember leaving the doctor's office thinking, well, how am I going to tell my husband? So I went to Myers, bought an outfit. I was coming home and I was like, oh, I got to get adjusted. Your
patients will teach you more about the positive effects of chiropractic, and Margaret's just, I could not have asked for a better patient. This is is amazing. This is amazing. Wow. Yeah. So anything else? Yeah, you got pregnant.
I remember that.
Why have you and continue to consistently prioritize chiropractic care into your life on a weekly basis? I think you kind of pretty much said it. It's maintaining rather than waiting for things to come up.
It is, yeah. Well, I didn't know anything about chiropractic growing up, and when I had my first baby, Bailey was born in 2005, and she was on 30 meds a day. I kid you not, 30 meds a day. We started doing chiropractics, and so we actually took her off one med at a time while doing the chiropractic care. And we did go through, like our family doctor was totally on board with it. He was awesome, and she got better so fast.
That's awesome.
And at this point, she hasn't been on, like she was diagnosed with asthma, but she never actually had an asthma attack. So I'm like, I'm not saying that the doctor's misdiagnosed, but what people don't realize is sometimes the
mid-back. Yeah. A lot of the nerves in the mid-back go to the bronchioles, and if you adjust it, they'll cause them to listen up. And
some doctors were fighting us on that. They were like, no, she better be on this, and I'm like, no. Yeah. So
it's neat to vote, and you bring up another good point. Just even having there's doctors out there that work with us, and you know,
And then there's some that don't.
yeah. And
I've fired a few doctors. I've had pediatricians who are like, they're like, oh, if you take off this medication, then we're gonna call child services on you. I'm like, you're fired.
Yeah.
And I found one that worked with me. He's he always says, well, I feel like you need an adjustment, and I'm like, okay. So and I love that he can work with you and work with him.
They're out there.
I can say this is what he said, and or you will tell me to go and hey, have him check this out or whatever. So I like that there's some open communication between the two of you.
I remind our students, when you get out there and you find these healthcare professionals that are pro chiropractic and
support them.
And support them, support each other. You know, they are out there.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on how the students that we're working with can encourage your patients to be consistent with care? So, what did you like about the office that kind of what happened that you go, you know what, this is something, or maybe it's more from personal experience, but what can you say to help our students promote their patients to stay consistent with care as opposed to treating it like it's just, I got neck pain or back pain?
Well, see, I used to work for a chiropractor, so my feeling is different. They go to the dentist to get checkups, right?
Right.
They don't have to, but they do.
Right.
Why wouldn't you go and get your chiropractic care too? You know, like to me, that's just how I feel. Like if you're going to brush your teeth every day, you might as well go get your adjustment, you know, like when you're supposed to. So like, I don't know.
There's a saying, what is a dentist that says like, you know, something about dentists, but you can't see your spine, so people go to the dentist. It's like, but you can't live without you can live without you can live without your freaking teeth. But it's, it's the understanding that it's about maintaining as you basically go out in the world. There's forces basically trying to misalign your spine.
Right.
So I love it.
Yeah.
So just encourage them about, it's like a checkup. Okay. How important is it for your doctor to have compassion, a positive personality, and a desire to educate? What can you speak to on that?
I think it's really important because there's times where I've come in and you're like, oh, well, this is off. And I'm like, well, what is that? Because, I don't know what some of the bones are. And I love that you have a TV in every room where you can look up stuff on the computer and point out. Like here, you'll show us like where the bones are. This is what part of your back is bothering you. This is what part of your neck is bothering you, and you'll go through all this stuff. I love that it's right there where we can see it, and not all offices have that either. We get to see our X-rays every time we come in. You put our numbers in, our whole profile pops up, our X-rays on one side, our demographics are on the other, whatever, and then you put the SOAP notes in. I love that because that, we can see how much we're healing. Even we might have been a 4 2 weeks ago, and we might be a 2, today. So like, I love that.
You want to be able to see our patients, but we also want to be able to have the resources there. So,
right. Yeah. And I also like that you have the little
spines.
The spines in there because kids. I mean, not only do they like to look at them, you can show the kids like this is where you're having a problem. This is where I need to adjust. I mean, that they can see it.
Right there. That's awesome. Oh, what things should our students strive for, in your opinion? And then what are some of the annoying experiences that you had at other healthcare offices that you think our students should avoid? So if you were to give our students as a last, all right, here's the things you want to do.
When you walk into the office, give my number 3474, but you guys are like, hi, Margaret, how are you? Hi, Tim, my husband, both my kids, like, who they are. So I love that. I mean, I know my daughter doesn't come in as often as the rest of us, but she's, an adult now and going to college. So it is what it is, but you still know her. You still know, like, when our dog was alive, you even adjusted my dog for me at one time. Yeah.
They've got spines too.
Yeah, they do. I wish more chiropractors would do that. Not many would.
Yeah, greet your parents. Well, I think everyone in our heart just needs to be like greeted. So just
they love that their name and that their family. And
I reiterate to my students, I'm like, even though technology has gotten advanced and there's all this stuff, there's still some basic foundational things that you need to do to be successful. But just I've always said this, my mentor used to say this to me, you take care of your patients, they'll take care of you.
Exactly.
We all want the human experience no matter where we're at. And that seems to be the theme that as I do these interviews that keeps coming up. So I appreciate you reiterating that. Well, you guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I could not have asked for a better interview. Some amazing information, but hope this helps, guys. And thanks for watching.